There he is, the man that wishes he had the neck that Mike Glennon does. Although I got to tell you, Sauce Gardner gives him a little competition. I don't know if you noticed that. He's got a little bit of that extended neck too. Not like Mike Glennon. That is impressive when you can look over the stadium. You have to admit that. That's a skill right there.
He's a tall guy. He's a tall guy. Davis Mills is the next man up, though, if we're gonna be honest.
We're gonna be honest. Neck man up, really? Really? He has I didn't know.
Have you seen Davis Mills?
No, I didn't. Google. You know what? I've seen him, but I did not notice he had a giraffe neck too. I had no idea. Gotta look it up now.
Go Google Google Davis Mills and tell me. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Someone tell me I'm wrong.
Back in the day, we had a guy in San Francisco. Oh shit, you're from that part. Merton Hanks. Way before your time, but maybe anything. You know who Merton Hanks is?
Nah.
You're kind of a youngin', so no. All right, so Merton was part of those great '90s teams, and those monster San Francisco teams, and he had a neck, and he had this dance that he would do when he would like make a play, and so because when you have that neck, you can do those kind of things, and it really stands out. So Merton Hanks, I remember, was that guy Niners years ago.
Joe Burrow quote asked about the Bengals Super Bowl window. You know what he just said? My whole career. The window is my whole career. The window is always open.
Right. That's the way you got to think. That's how the badasses think, bro.
Those are bars.
Oh yeah, Davis Mills. Holy moly.
Yeah, I was about to say, man. He's
eating from the top of the trees. No doubt about it.
That's the neck of the year.
Yeah,
that's the neck of the year.
Actually, but that's actually a thick, strong, tall neck. Whereas Glennon's a skinny, long neck. This one's like he's got like a tree trunk. He's got like a redwood type of neck. Look at that. Damn. Okay. I wonder if these guys were wearing rings and stuff like those women do that hold up the baskets in their heads and they extend it every year by putting some kind of a ring and they're extending their necks. I wonder if they're doing stuff like that. All right. So how do we look at this victory? Do we say, considering all the crap that's happened to this team and losing your starter for 5 games, making the playoffs at least is some kind of an accomplishment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shoot, you made it. Anything could happen. Anything could happen, right, when you get in. So, I'm back in, what was the year? Oh, man, was it 2012, 2011, or maybe earlier than that? The Seahawks, when they got in with the losing record. And nobody thought they were going to beat the Saints, and then they go and they went and beat the Saints. So, anything can happen once you're in. You should take pride in landing into the tournament and getting into the tournament without a doubt. Is this how they wanted to get in? Probably not. They're limping in there, but I'll tell you what, playoff football is better than not playing. Playoff football is better than watching playoff football. So
you just want to go back to Buffalo. That's all. You just want to go back to Buffalo, have some wings, that kind of stuff. That's it. That's
have you ever had wings in Buffalo and not at Anchor Bar?
No, not at Anchor Bar. I haven't had any wings at Buffalo.
All right. Well, if you have a plate of wings in Buffalo, like sometimes like city landmarks, they're overblown. It's like, it's not that special. Like it's not that damn good. Nah, but the wings in Buffalo are physically different than anywhere else I've had anywhere else in the country. They're bigger. The sauce is different. They care about it a little bit more. Like wings are special in Buffalo. I'm just saying. So before we shit on it,
them up with steroids is what you're saying. Steroid wings is what you get there in Buffalo.
I mean, the first wing I ever had there, I damn near had to grab with my entire hand. So it was who knows. But I don't know. There's like a chicken shortage during COVID. So I don't know if that's still the case. Obviously, I haven't been there in a minute.
Well, yeah, you haven't been there in quite a few minutes. Mike McDaniel's game day coaching, very mediocre. That's one thing I would like to see him improve drastically on going into next season. I mean, the decision at the beginning of the game to go for that fourth down and give them the short field was catastrophically stupid. It switched, field position. You could have pinned them instead. It's a bad offense. Maybe you turn him over, you get a short field. Lots of other things that I can go through with him over the year that's happened. The challenges. Obviously, he finally won one at the end of the damn game. Your thoughts on Mike McDaniel and how he needs to improve his game day coaching?
I mean, that's just it's year one for him too, right? Like you learn situations, you learn how to respond in certain situations. The best way to do that is by being in those situations. So I think he's a smart guy. He obviously knows the game. I think the team obviously will play for him. Um, I think once it's year one, year two, year three, if you're still having these complaints with his entire handprints all over this roster, then
Agree.
then we'll talk. But I think that for year one, obviously they kind of cheated the system a bit in terms of in terms of getting a coach's own players in. They kind of they circumnavigated the system, I should say, by trading for Tyreek and signing Armstead and all of that. They kind of accelerated the timeline a bit.
Well,
But
they had no choice. They had no choice because Tua's contract, you have to find out as quick as possible. The 2
yes,
years with Flo, it killed you in trying to determine what do you have at quarterback. And so I think that's why they had to kind of fast track it. And I understood that. I understood why they had to do what they did. It made sense. Let me ask you, you're in the locker room. Brandon Shell, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. These are all guys. Tyreek came back. Eichenberg also got banged up, but I don't worry as much about him because you've got Robert Jones. But some of these other guys you would like to have for next week if you want to at least be somewhat competitive. So talk to me about some of these injuries because the Brandon Shell one really bothers me going into next week in Buffalo if you can't have that man who has done a really nice job overall at right tackle.
yeah, that's tough. I did see these guys in the locker room. That's usually a good sign. If they spend the entire time in the training room, that's when you got to get worried. I didn't see anybody, to the best of my knowledge, go into the X-ray room, so that's a positive sign. Jalen Waddle spoke to the media. That's a very positive sign. I think even Raheem Mostert might have done an interview as well, but he did have a brace on his hand, on I believe it was his right hand. That's
Right.
going to be tough. That's going to be tough because as a running
Moving
back,
on to the board. Yeah.
you need your hands, man. That's not a position. You could do that. You can get away with that with a fullback. You can't really do that with a guy that's touching the ball 16 times a game. So, it'll be a big Jeff Wilson week and a big Jeff Wilson and Savon Ahmed week.
Hey, Savon had a nice run there. But listen, Savon has answered the bell every time you've rung it. Okay?
Hey,
Every time
I've
you
said
try
it.
to ring it, it goes ding, ding every single time. So kudos to that young man. He stays prepared and he finds a way to hit the right holes, dude. I like
I've
it.
been saying it since this offseason, since training camp. Savon Ahmed, was obviously Mostert didn't play for most of training camp. He didn't practice. Uh, Edmonds looked good, but Savon Ahmed might have been the best looking running back at training camp this summer. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised to see him do this when he gets the opportunity. It's just that there are guys making more money than him. There are guys, Mostert, who were brought in,
But
Wilson,
Mostert was running
for a
good today,
specific
bro.
rule. So yeah,
Mostert
I
ran
think
right.
it was an easy. The game plan was an easy call. Just back to back to back, give it to Wilson, Wilson Mostert, and grind it out. And that's, I mean, dude, like I'm tired. I'm beat. I'm beat right now, man. And watching that
You should
game
be happy. That game went
was a
faster than
grind.
normal, dude. It went faster
Watching
than normal for you.
that was a grind, dude, to watch. That was a grind. I love my job, don't get me wrong. But it's week 18. We're about 24 weeks in of go, go, go. Uh I am tired,
You
man. I
could be
am
a
tired.
teacher. You could be a teacher handling 200 kids a week. You could be
Hey,
working on the streets and in the hot weather. I don't know.
hey,
Putting,
I
you
didn't
know,
say I didn't say I
concrete
didn't.
or building
I didn't say
walls.
I don't want my job.
Life
I
is
said I
good for
love
you.
my job, but I am allowed to be tired at my job, doing my
By
job.
the way, the Mostert injury, just like because a lot of people keep asking me about Teddy, that if Skylar can go, and my problem with Teddy is he doesn't have a strong arm as it is. A dislocated pinky finger, if he can't really grip the ball, anybody that's thrown a football, you know how important your pinky is to throwing that football and being able to put that spin on it and and touch. And if Teddy doesn't have a healthy pinky, I don't even know how he even has a chance to contribute next week, to be quite honest.
No, I'm not sure. He gradually began throwing over longer distances throughout the course of the week, but I would probably expect Skylar Thompson to start on Sunday if I had to pick one right now with no further information. So don't take this and run with it. But if I
Right.
had to pick one with no further information, I would say it's probably Thompson. And I'm concerned because it's not that I don't think Thompson has talent. It's that we're
You
starting,
see it.
especially today. It's starting today, or today especially. You're starting to see the things that plagued him early in training camp, which is the processing speed, has
Yeah.
begun to slow down dramatically. And that
Yeah.
Buffalo defense with McDermott and Frazier are going to confuse the ever loving hell out of this kid
I
next
know.
week.
I know.
So it is it's grounds for a long game, but they did have a lot of success on the ground last time around. We'll see if that continues because all that success on the ground came with Tua at quarterback. And I this
Would Armstead play next week?
I mean, we'll see. Doubtful today. That means the fact that he wasn't ruled out so early, I think means that he was trying. He was trying to play. Um, I don't think we've seen him miss. Well, yeah, we did. We just saw him miss back-to-back games, but back-to-back games missed. Like I think that's time. That's enough time to rest these injuries. Like it's playoff time.
He's
If you're
missed
close, you gotta.
non-Tua games. Okay, he misses all non-Tua games.
This is big. It's a big deal that they won without Tua, but it's a massive deal that they won without Armstead because
Amen.
that doesn't happen.
And by the way, I'm with you on Skylar. I don't see, you know, I don't see enough to build on, to be quite honest. When it comes to,
You know,
I know he has physical talents, but lots of people have physical talents. But I see no anticipatory skills. I don't think the accuracy is there on a consistent basis. I would put it this way, and I'll keep repeating. I'll steal the idea from Manny Navarro. Hendon Hooker is there in the second or third rounds. I'm taking him. I'm taking him. Okay, because he's not going to go in the
mm,
first because he's coming off a knee injury. But he's the kind of guy that this is where the league is going. This, that what you're talking about with quarterbacks, we're going to be there in the next 10 to 20 years. That's where we're going. The mobile quarterback will be more of the normal quarterback, the guy that can actually be accurate too with mobility. All that stuff is coming because we're developing that down the pipeline. And I think Hendon Hooker would be that kind of guy that I would take a chance on because he's that kind of talent that you try to mold in today's NFL. I think if you're the Dolphins, you have to try to plan for a better backup quarterback next year behind Tua. You want to come back with Tua? I have no problem with that. I hope you do, but you got to have somebody way better than Teddy Bridgewater waiting there. Now that's going to be harder to do than saying it. Saying it is really easy. Accomplishing it will be very difficult.
so the tough thing about Thompson too. He's 25, I believe. He's 25.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Physically, he is not going to get any better. Physically, this is about what we are going to see from him for his career. Like this is it. You can make minor mechanical tweaks here and there. Maybe he can shorten up his release. He can add a couple yards on his deep ball, stuff like that. But it's not like we're going to see him physically develop. So where you're hoping is that mentally the game slows down for him and his processing, his clock speeds up because like right now he looks like a rookie. He looks like a rookie right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and that's the decision that they're going to have to make because I mean ultimately, okay, if you draft another quarterback, like you're in theory you're drafting a younger guy, so you're going to have to start this process over again if you get a Hendon Hooker, who I haven't watched enough of to make any sort of qualified comment. I think I saw a mock draft from the Draft Network, which is my favorite draft site out there. Those guys are awesome, man. And I think Kyle Krabs had Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama going to Miami in the second round. And I think that's awesome. That's an awesome pick. Like if Hooker or Gibbs are on the board when you pick in the second round, I'm taking Gibbs.
So you agree with me?
Gibbs.
Yeah. Listen, I don't care which. I haven't done my homework yet either. I'm going to go to the Senior Bowl at the end of the month, and we'll start to do all our shit that we normally do every year, and we'll go to the combine, and I'll figure all that stuff out. But so you're with me on this, that if the Dolphins have an opportunity to find another young quarterback out there, that you should do it because of the Tua situation.
That they should get another quarterback?
Yes, sir.
It just depends on it depends on how the board looks. It depends on the moves that you can make in the offseason. I know that they have scouted Anthony Richardson somewhat heavily up at Florida. He's a project, so I don't think he's going to be a first round pick.
Oh no,
but
no way.
You know, that's a name that, you know, like I said, I'm saying it right now on January 8th. I'm saying it right now, so that if you hear this name come about in April, you can say, "Oh shit, Marcel did say that." But I've been hearing about their interest in Anthony Richardson for a couple months now. That they've visited multiple times up in Gainesville, but you know, I don't think that he's like a Tua replacement per se. I think that again, he's a project talent who, if it all clicks, if he's able to put it all together, could be a scary dude in the NFL. He'd be a scary dude in the NFL.
His talents are all now his accuracy. But then again, listen, what Josh Allen did, even though he's still not like really accurate, but he got much better than what I saw in Wyoming, what I saw in the Senior Bowl, and what I saw his first year. And then he made drastic improvement from that, which is something I had never seen from a quarterback. Normally, when they're erratic, and they're erratic for the rest of their lives. And he kind of toned it down. He still has his throws that go awry, you know, but he has that ability with his legs that he can make up for all kinds of stuff. And Josh is a weird dude, because it's not weird because I've seen other guys do this. He's not perfectly accurate all the time, but he's clutch accurate, which is like weird. Like when you really need the throw, he can make the key throw, the money throw. He does that a lot.
It's funny when after my first year in Buffalo in 2019, you know, I'm in a big group chat with a lot of writers from across the country, and a lot of my friends in there were telling me, you know, about, you know, because I said, hey, I think the Bills are going to be pretty good next year, and they're like, Josh Allen sucks. He sucks. He's not good. It's like he's not good for 3 quarters. But somehow in that fourth quarter, all the crazy shit that he was trying to pull in quarters 1 through 3 all of a sudden starts working. So if he can do that for 4 quarters, then he's going to be something. He's going to be special. And lo and behold, he started doing that for 4 quarters. Anthony Richardson is not Josh Allen, though. Like, I want to make that like Josh Allen's a way better prospect, and I'm not even suggesting that Anthony Richardson come in here and they move on from Tua and go there. Just I have to say that just in case this gets misconstrued. I don't want that on record at all. I'm just saying things that I have heard. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of quarterback play at the college level this year. I don't know if it's a mechanics issue with him. I don't know if it's just he's not good at throwing the ball accurately. Like I don't know. I haven't done the research into that, so I don't have an opinion on it per se. I'm just saying what I know about Anthony Richardson is they visited him multiple times, and he's very much a project quarterback who would, in theory, be in range for them in that second and third round, depending on how good of a pre-draft season he has. In theory.
Reggie D goes, I'm a Gators fan, a big no to Anthony Richardson. I think he's saying that because because if you watch it a lot, his accuracy is effed up at times. Yeah, I think he's right, but I totally understand where you're coming from because his gifts, the Lord blessed him, bro. He's got a rocket arm if he wants. He can run like a deer. He's got great size. He plays hard. You know what I mean? He's trying all the time. Now,
For guys
the
like for
idea
guys like that,
is polishing that diamond up. And that's the key, like they did with Josh Allen. They polished that diamond up and they made him a deadly ass weapon. And that's kind of, can you do that with Anthony Richardson? And that's the intoxicating part. And that's where, as you know, we've run into these people. Coaches will, they'll think that they're the guy that can turn that guy around, that can coach him up, that can make him great. And somebody's going to say, dude, that talent, I got to get him. I got to try to mold that talent to a quarterback.
And like I said, it's gonna depend on what his pre-draft looks like how he is pre-draft. If I had to just guess based on generalizations, guys who are of that skill set generally get by on that skill set to the point where they don't have to refine their game. Guys like, if you're 6'4", 220 in high school, you're not working on your mechanics because you could run circles around these guys and run through anybody on the other side of the ball. Same kind of goes in college, depending on how big and fast you are. And I think that's kind of and it also depends on your supporting cast. I don't know Florida's supporting cast.
They got a decent supporting cast. They got a decent supporting cast. Their defense was what was really horrible, dude, this year.
There it is. So I know in Josh Allen's case in Florida, in Josh Allen's case, he had nothing at Wyoming, and that hero ball shit was just him trying to make every single play happen. And so, once that instinct calmed down, then you could start to see the refinement mechanically. I don't know if that's the case with Anthony Richardson. Again, like I haven't scouted him. This is just reporting what I have heard, things that I have heard.
Yeah, by the end of the month, I'll start having more draft information when I'm out there for the Senior Bowl for the week. I'm just pissed, actually, that the Senior Bowl and the East-West are crossing over every year now. I hated that, bro. I used to love going every year for a week to the Senior Bowl and a week to a week to the East-West and a week to the Senior Bowl, and now it's impossible to do both, man. It just absolutely sucks.
Are people complaining about the canceled game, saying that they would rather have traveled to Cincinnati?
Oh, well, whatever.
I don't think
people complain about anything, bro.
I don't think you want any of these. Like I guess again, I don't think you want any of these teams, especially if you're. Let's keep it a buck here. You're looking like you're looking like probably the weakest team in the AFC playoff field right now. If Tua's not playing, you definitely are.
There's no looking. They are.
There's no good matchup for you unless you drew Jacksonville in the first round.
Yeah.
So maybe if you beat New England last week, maybe you do play Jacksonville in the first round. Right. So but
and by the way, what happened was about the Buffalo Bills, not about anybody else in the league. So it's about respecting their space and doing what they wanted to do and what the league wanted to do. And they decided on what they want to do. The league decided on what they do. And the rest of us just got to go along for the ride. And it is what it is. Look, in the end, whether you made the playoffs to go to Cincinnati or go to Buffalo, who cares, dude? You're just lucky enough to back into the damn playoffs. And that's it. That's the bottom line, overall. Okay, so does Tua have still a chance to play? Like, I wouldn't play him personally. I'd sit him out for the rest of the year. You already are telling us that you think it's Skyler's game next week anyway. So talk to me. What's your gut tell you? Because I personally would hold him out and let him, completely recalibrate and get his head right and all that.
I'd say no Tua. I'd say no Tua for the rest of this year. He helped you get here and all that, but he's 24, 25, however old he is, man. Like, he's got a whole life ahead of him. Don't blow it all on on the season where you're not winning it all, man. Like, you're not. The Dolphins have a cap this year. You made it, and anything can happen. Don't get me wrong, but in order to win it all, this means you're going to have to beat Buffalo, Kansas City, and Cincy, right?
No.
Come on. Like let's be honest here. Like I mean this like with all due respect, the way that this team's played the past month, that is not a that's not doable. That's not feasible.
There isn't enough drugs in the world that I can take that I would then come to the conclusion that they have a shot against those teams.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
no,
they're gotta
I would say
go.
no. McDaniel, kind of hinted at it, saying, oh, I don't know if whether it's this year, next year. I don't have a timeline for him. So he said, well, we'll worry about that if and when he's medically cleared. So I hear a non-committal decision maker here. I just don't think he plays, because I think while you can't make every single decision um, about optics, the optics in this case, if you play him and he is hurt again and he is hurt, he
I
sustains
agree.
another concussion, all of a sudden it starts to look like negligence. Like I think even the most optimistic Dolphins fan has to look at that with a cocked head. So I don't think he plays again this year. I don't necessarily have like, I can't say that definitively, but I don't necessarily think he plays.
What? Why is he not on the screen there? Why am I only seeing myself here on the screen? What
Yeah, I
happened there,
don't know.
Sean?
Can you?
I hear you.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. Okay. All right. I wonder, did I do something or I don't know. Did I do something there, Sean? I'm sorry if I did something there. I can't tell. What do you got for us?
No, I just walked out and I walked back in and then I heard that. So I didn't touch anything. I don't know why he disappeared.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm with you. I would not play Tua, but is there a chance? Because the way I thought it was, he needed to have that light workout the week before you come back, like towards the back end of it, before you start the week of the
So
game. Because dude, I've seen people come back within the same week or whatever. I don't know how this whole thing is played out. So please
So
explain.
like quarterbacks in concussion protocol is a little tricky because there's a four-step process before you are fully cleared to return. I'm fuzzy on the first one. I believe the second is light aerobic exercise. The third is like individual football specific activities, and I think the fourth is non-contact team participation. And this is where the tricky part comes in, the loophole comes in, because every practice for a quarterback is non-contact teamwork. That's why they have the red jersey on. So in theory, like if the team doctor clears him of a concussion, you can, in theory, again, hold off on taking him to, the independent contractor. At least this is my understanding of it. You can hold off on taking him to the independent contractor to officially get him cleared, and that way your opponent has to prepare for two quarterbacks. That is my understanding of it, at least. I don't know if that has changed over the years, but that when I first really began to understand concussion protocol, that was my understanding of it back in 2019. So it is tricky, but Tua has not even been out at practice. He has not practiced in any capacity, as far as I know. Um, it would take a then Herculean effort to get him ready for this game. We remember how he looked after 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off earlier this season. He was rusty. The timing was off. It wasn't a big deal because it was week 7.
Right.
It's a big deal now. You can't be off. Your timing can't be off. Your chemistry can't be off. So he will have to be practicing. He will have to be in step 4, like phase 4 of protocol
That's right.
on
Yeah.
Wednesday in order for him to have a chance to play. And that is if the game is on Sunday. If the game's on Saturday, he has to be ready to be playing tomorrow or Tuesday.
Right.
I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. It sucks. It's tough. Like talent-wise, obviously he gives you the better chance to win. But you got to take his long-term health into consideration, and you have to take the timing and chemistry of this offense into consideration. Skyler has been practicing with the first team for the past week.
That don't mean much.
or put Teddy. It doesn't matter. Like one of those two have at least played football over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I just feel bad
So
for Teddy right now because he's limited as it is, and now if that pinky's not really, and plus, by the way, we're going to Buffalo, 30 degrees maybe, wind. That pinky ain't gonna work too well in those kind of conditions. You know what I'm saying? It's not hot and humid where you can keep things loosen up. That coldness will stiff you up, man. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Oh man, well, we don't have locker room clean out tomorrow. We got a playoff game to prepare for. Tua is going to be the story. He is going to be the biggest storyline this week. So that's what we're focused on. That's what we're waiting on. Had a couple good conversations with Xavier Howard, who is the only remaining Dolphin from their previous playoff roster.
Funny.
Had a chat with Bradley Chubb as well. Yeah, one. There's one guy left.
I did not realize that it was that little left over from the Gase era. Wow. Okay.
And then spoke with Bradley Chubb. He's in the playoff for the first time in his career. Like, it's the first time he's even been in the hunt. And first time in his career, I thought he was great. So I'll probably have a story out about their playoff expectations. But beyond that, man, tonight I'm getting some sleep. I got to go get my dog. He's in a cone right now. I know he's mad. He's in a cone and in his crate and pissed. So I got to go get him out.
Go get him, bro. Take care of them doggies. What, you had him neutered?
Nah, I don't know what it is, man. Like, it's not fleas, but he just keeps chewing at the same spot on his back. And, I wake up this morning and it's basically a bald patch now. He just chewed his fur clean off. It's so,
Gotta protect
I put a diaper on him at first I put a diaper on him at first so he couldn't get to it, but he would just try to get under it. And so it's like, okay, well.
Can we put a cone on Tua?
Maybe a neck roll or a better helmet.
Okay. Oh, he's definitely going to wear that helmet. He's wearing the Kenny Pickett helmet. He's got to wear the Kenny Pickett helmet. But let's put a ring on him too. That way, when he falls, it kind of protects him and all that. It might help out. It might get in the way of his passing, but it protects the head. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Catch his work there at ESPN, and of course, catch him twice a week here doing his thing with our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Peace.
There you go. Marcel Louis Jacques. By the way, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. When I tell you about Edge Energy Drink, it is better than any energy drink you're taking, drinking, whatever you swear by now. Okay? Order it to your home. Order it to your office. Go to myedgedrink.com. You can only get it online. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste, which is going to blow you away because, as you all know, most of these sports drinks, they have an aftertaste. This one does not. It's going to blow you away. It is delicious. And as an elixir, oh man, when I mix it with vodka, it is awesome. myedgedrink.com. Don't forget, by the way, to smash that like button. You now have the edge.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.